Human life rarely begins on equal ground. Some people are born into opportunity, others begin life already struggling just to stand. Some grow up surrounded by support, guidance, and security. Others must build their entire path alone. From the very beginning, life quietly reveals one undeniable truth. The starting point of human lives is never the same. But even though our beginnings are different, there is one thing almost every human being shares: hope. Hope for a better life. Hope to escape constant struggle. Hope that one day life will feel lighter than it does today. Because of this hope, millions of people accept something difficult during the early chapters of their lives. They work harder than they want to. They endure more than they should. They sacrifice comfort in the present, all because they believe in a simple promise: if we work hard today, tomorrow will reward us. For generations, this belief shaped the economic behavior of human society. People worked. They saved money. They tried to build something stable: a house, a piece of land, a vehicle, tools for work. These were not just objects. They were called assets. Assets represented something deeper than ownership. They represented security. A house that took 30 years to pay off could eventually become a place to retire. A piece of land could become something passed down to children. Ownership was not simply about convenience. Ownership meant stability. Ownership meant control over the future. For a long time, societies were built on this philosophy: work today, build stability tomorrow. But modern life has introduced another truth that quietly challenges this idea. The future is uncertain. No one truly knows how long their life will be. Today we exist. Tomorrow is never guaranteed. And when people begin thinking about this uncertainty, a new mindset begins to appear. If the future is unpredictable, why commit to long-term burdens? Why tie life to decades of debt? Why spend years paying for something when life might change tomorrow? From this way of thinking, a simple idea began spreading across modern society, an idea that sounds harmless, but has quietly reshaped the global economy. Sometimes, renting is better than buying. At first, this sentence sounds like simple financial advice, but if we look deeper, something much larger is happening. This idea reflects a transformation in how humans consume, live, and think, a transformation that defines the modern era. To understand this shift, we need to look at how life worked in the past. In earlier generations, ownership was the goal. People worked so that one day they could say, "This belongs to me." A house was yours. A car was yours. Your music collection was yours. Ownership meant permanence. Ownership meant control. Ownership meant that even if life became difficult later, something still remained. But today, many things in life no longer require ownership. Movies no longer sit on shelves. Instead of buying films, people subscribe to streaming platforms. Music no longer exists as physical albums. Instead, millions of songs live inside an app. Software used to be purchased once. Now many tools require monthly payments. Even transportation is changing. In some cities, people no longer buy cars. They subscribe to transportation services. Even housing itself is evolving. Many younger people now choose renting instead of buying. When we step back and observe these patterns, a new economic system becomes visible, a system economists call the subscription economy. In this system, people no longer pay for ownership. They pay for access. You do not own the movie, but you can watch it. You do not own the music, but you can listen to it. You do not own the software, but you can use it. At first glance, this system appears incredibly efficient. It removes expensive upfront costs. It allows millions of people to access tools and entertainment easily. Convenience increases. Flexibility increases. Life becomes easier. But beneath this convenience, a powerful question begins to emerge. What happens when access replaces ownership in almost every part of life? Because there is one important characteristic of subscription systems. They do not charge you once. They charge you continuously, month after month, year after year. And the reason this system works so well is psychological. Humans rarely feel pressure when payments are small. $10 per month feels harmless. $20 per month feels manageable. But when many subscriptions begin stacking together, something subtle happens. Streaming services, music platforms, cloud storage, software tools, mobile apps, gaming memberships, each service feels small. But together, they quietly form a constant stream of money leaving your account. Money that never becomes an asset. Money that never becomes something you own. Instead, it only buys temporary access. And when payments stop, the access disappears. Now imagine a life 30 years from today. If housing must be rented, if transportation must be rented, if software must be rented, if entertainment must be rented, what remains after decades of payments? This is where the conversation becomes uncomfortable, because the subscription economy does something subtle. It replaces ownership with convenience, and convenience can be addictive. Consider the digital lifestyle of a modern consumer. A person might subscribe to 2 streaming services, 1 music platform, cloud storage, a premium productivity tool, an editing application, an online learning platform, a gaming service. Each one might cost $5, $10, $15, but stacked together, the number grows. $100 per month. That becomes $1,200 per year. Over 10 years, $12,000. Over 20 years, $24,000. And still, nothing is owned. Nothing remains, except the memory of temporary access. This is why economists have started asking uncomfortable questions. Is convenience quietly reshaping financial behavior? Not because the system forces people, but because it encourages short-term comfort. The subscription economy does not trap people. It attracts them. It offers simplicity. It offers flexibility. It offers immediate access. But what it rarely offers is long-term ownership. This shift becomes even more visible when we examine younger generations. In many cities around the world, housing prices have risen dramatically. Buying property has become extremely difficult for many people. As a result, renting becomes the default lifestyle. Mobility replaces permanence. Flexibility replaces ownership. And in some ways, this lifestyle feels liberating. You can move cities easily. You can change jobs freely. You can adapt quickly. But there is also a hidden trade-off. When flexibility dominates life for decades, asset accumulation slows down. Instead of building ownership, people build subscriptions. And subscriptions never stop charging. This same pattern appears in another unexpected place: the creator economy. Millions of people today build careers online. They create videos. They produce music. They teach courses. They entertain audiences. But most creators do not own the platforms where their audiences live. YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, Facebook. Creators operate inside systems controlled by technology companies. Algorithms decide visibility. Policies decide monetization. Accounts can disappear overnight. Creators build influence inside platforms they do not control. Once again, the same pattern appears. Access, not ownership. Convenience, not control. This does not mean the subscription economy is harmful. In many situations, it is extremely useful. Renting expensive equipment for short projects makes sense. Streaming movies instead of buying thousands of discs makes sense. Using cloud software instead of outdated programs makes sense. The real issue is not renting versus owning. The real issue is awareness. Do we understand the systems shaping our lives? Or are we simply drifting into them because they feel easy? Convenience should be a tool, not a philosophy of life. Because the most powerful systems in history rarely forced people into them. They attracted people. They offered comfort. They offered simplicity. And over time, they reshaped behavior. The subscription economy may be one of those systems. Not necessarily dangerous, but deeply influential. Which leads to the most important question: what kind of future are we building? A future built entirely on access? Or a future balanced between access and ownership? Because a stable life often requires both. Some things should absolutely be rented. Some things should absolutely be owned. The wisdom lies in recognizing the difference. In a world where everything is becoming easier, the most valuable human skill may no longer be working harder. It may be thinking more clearly, pausing before accepting convenience, asking where each decision leads, understanding the long-term consequences of short-term comfort. Because the real danger of convenience is not that it makes life easier. The real danger is that it can slowly make people stop asking questions. And the moment a society stops questioning the systems around it, those systems begin shaping the future without resistance. Perhaps the real challenge of modern life is not surviving the economy. Perhaps the real challenge is understanding it. You are listening to
สถานีหยุดพักคลายเหนื่อย